and welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
I'm Kyle. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Been a busy week. A lot of union coverage from us, and just a lot of travel in general. You were at the
A
beach,
lot of travel. Yeah.
and we got a lot more coming up. Yeah, I thought we'd sit down tonight a little later than usual and record an episode for this week, catch up on a couple things, and yeah, excited to get back to it. And before we get started, just want to thank everybody for listening again today.
hmm
Um, Last week we hit a another really good high note on the website in terms of views and actual engagement. So thank you for that. Also want to give a shout to Shaggy of Union Game Day Fit for introducing himself last night.
Yeah, he introduced himself to me before, but I don't think you had
I think I
met him.
have
Oh,
met him once before, maybe briefly, but again, it was good seeing you, Shaggy, and
there goes
appreciate
and there goes our special guest.
Oscar.
If you're watching, yeah, our orange cat Oscar.
Yep.
And he's just chilling. But
But yeah,
um
yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about the Toronto match. Talk about our trip up to see Union 2 versus Red Bull 2 on Monday, and then kind of recap a little bit from last night's U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal,
yep.
and look ahead this weekend. So before we get started, what are we wearing today?
I am wearing the pre-match top, warm-up top that team wore yesterday. It is um the new top they put out. I forget what it's called. Yeah.
Isn't it the Soccer for All again?
Soccer for I think so. It's like kind of like their like Unity type one or
Yeah,
whatever. It's
it's
not like it's not the Pride one. That's
no,
like
it's
it's
the
like
Unity, or
it
what was called the Unity.
yeah, like when they did the flower top a few years ago. Whatever. I like it.
I think it's really nice.
It looks sharp. I thought it looked sharp on the players. So yeah. And I guess I know like the August 23rd game is the Hispanic Heritage game, I think. I wonder if they're gonna have a top for that or if it's just because they kind of put this out kind of around when they usually put out the Fiesta Hispano one. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it is interesting. And again, it's a really nice top.
Yeah, I think they charge too much for these, to be honest, because they're like $70. But they charge more in the store, and if you get like the season ticket member discount, it comes about to the same. But even so, like for a warm-up top, they charge that much. But honestly, this is one I really like the design, so I was like, well, get it. So yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. And Kyle, for the umpteenth time, which one are you? Yes,
Squirrel Squad. I'm
yes.
wearing the yellow Squirrel Squad with all the squirrel guys with the Philadelphia Union stuff on. I haven't worn
Yeah,
this. Actually, I was looking for something to wear, and this kind of was in there, so I thought I'd get it out.
yeah.
Yeah. Before we get started, where can people find us at?
So you can find us on our website, theoneteamweagreeon.com. You can find us on socials at TOTWAG, on Twitter and on Blue Sky. We are at the One Team We Agree on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me at silly double underscore Jilly on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'm on Blue Sky at Jillian Almany. Um, and you can be found at Coach Almany on all of those.
Yeah, so we'll get into it. So let's just kind of share our thoughts real quick here. On past Saturday's draw against Toronto FC, Union dropped points again late. But we'll talk about the game. Before we talk about the game, kind of pre-match festivities. We met up with our friend Dave, and
Mm-hmm.
who's gone to a couple games with us.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a good time, good energy.
Good crowd to
Yeah,
tailgate.
but yeah, we'll show some of this. We were kind of walking around. I know you guys were hanging out, and I kind of went in. You saw some of your former students.
Shout out to, yeah, so they're not my students anymore, but yep,
Yeah.
shout out to Braden and Caden. Yes.
Yeah, and then you, because I had already gone up, you went out and checked out the dogs.
Yeah, and of course, I am very partial to Huskies and I like the big dogs. And I grew up with a Husky German Shepherd mix, and I know why you're smiling at me.
Big
Big
dogs.
dog.
Oh.
Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of an in joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but no, I saw that they had Huskies at the rescue that they had that day. So I was like, oh, so I had to get a picture of them. They look like very good doggies. I know Huskies can be a handful though. We don't have a dog. We have three cats, but as most of you guys saw. But yeah, I like that they have the rescues there. And there's another one. Such pretty dogs.
Yeah.
And then there I am with my purchase of the jersey that I'm wearing. And like I've told our friends, zero regrets. It's a good jersey.
Yeah, it is. And it was a beautiful evening.
Mm.
That was another thing that really stood out to me. It wasn't that hot of a night,
Mm-hmm.
for sure, overall. But real quick, before we get into it here, let
Is the
me.
screen sharing on?
No, it's not screen sharing, it's not on.
Oh,
Uh,
did you have it on before?
no, I did, yes. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Sorry. So if you watch it, you got to see the pictures of the dogs.
Mhm.
And it's just great that they do that
Yeah.
for, the community, really adoption events. So if you haven't checked that out yet, with a couple of these games left, make sure you do that before if you get there in time.
Mhm.
But yeah, I thought overall the vibes were good
Yeah, actually
in
the plaza was packed. Like the
yeah.
lines, like the thing is the lines are going like across the walkway. So it's like hard if you're just trying to walk end to end through the plaza sometimes because
No,
the
I
lines are
thought
just like so no, there was a lot of people there for that. So
no, it was a
mhm.
good crowd on hand on Saturday night, and the Union did not disappoint. 4 minutes in, Indiana Vasilev scores, and just great build-up play. I
Yeah.
thought, comments in the press box. I thought that was probably one of, starts from Makhanya, goes up the left-hand side of the pitch, little one-touch passing kind of ball goes in
Yeah.
to Ty Baribo,
Yes.
flicks it on, and Vasilev beat the backup goalkeeper. Sean Johnson was out.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, Luka Garvan.
Hmm.
And you're up 1-0. You're thinking, okay, it's gonna be rolling.
Yeah. And then they didn't
No, they
score again.
didn't. And it was
It was, you know what it was reminding me of? It was reminding me of Union 2 versus FC Cincinnati 2 when Kellen gets the goal 2 minutes in the game, and then they were just trying to hold on to that the entire thing game, which
yeah,
they did manage to hold on to that lead the entire game. However, as we know, the Union did not hold on to their early lead.
no, and again, I know Bradley post match was asked, and I didn't clip it, but about giving up late goals, and as somebody tracks the goals, yes, the Union have given up goals in the 31st to 45th minute. They have 8 goals. That's their only like negative where they're in the
Hmm.
red, as so to speak. And this is on soccer stats if you want to look at it. It's goals within 15 minutes of competition. In the final half, they score a ton of goals, but they also give up 8 goals. So within those two time periods, in the first and the final 15 minutes each half, they give up 16 goals. I
Hmm.
mean, that is something that when you look at this team, can it hurt them? Absolutely. I mean, points are points. You could have a lot more.
Yeah.
But I think what Carnell's saying is, when you play this type of system, those things happen. Look, we saw it in 2022. Union had that run where they were dropping points.
Yeah.
2023, it was evident. 2024 was off the chains. I, it was I think, and he even addressed it, they should have never been in that position. VAR call, regardless. They should.
That was definitely deflating when that goal was overturned, but
And
yeah.
then, Mahalovic, who they just picked up in the window from Colorado, who was with Colorado last time at Subaru Park.
Hmm.
Makes a play down the middle. Glasses gets beat by DeAndre Kerr. Kerr's in on that. And, you know,
And to top it off, speaking of Jacob,
Jacob also picks a red card up in that match.
well, he picks up a yellow
I
card,
mean,
which
yellow card. Sorry, sorry.
leads to yellow
Hey,
card
see that?
accumulation, meaning he has to miss the regular
I was thinking about Kyle
match.
Duncan's.
Well, yeah.
But that's a whole nother thing because
Yeah.
his appeal got denied. So
So basically, Union won't have Jacob Glesnes in the match on Saturday against Red Bulls.
no, I mean, at the end of the day, you pick up a point that feels like a loss.
Yeah.
Um, and it was a kind of like they kind of got to play a little bit better some of these matches because they got to get matches coming up against teams that they should be able to pick up a point. They also
Yeah.
got a lot of tough teams coming up too on the road. But
Yeah. But they did have some help with like basically everything that you hope would happen with their opponents did.
they got lucky.
They did because teams that were around them the table dropped points. So that was big.
As deflating as it is, I kind of semi agree with Cardinal. Now, it is concerned that, against Nashville, against Inter Miami, against Columbus, these goals, even final 15 minutes against Houston, these goals that they're
Mhm.
giving up, yeah, it's concerning. But it's also soccer, and we see every night on highlights, great goals to, steal point at the death, it
But yeah, and like Bradley said, for the goals that they've given up, like, they've also been the ones getting goals late like that. So it's
like
like,
last night.
uh-huh.
Like last night, they
Yeah,
scored two in the final 15 minutes. So it kind
it's
of
soccer.
is, that's such a casual term, it's soccer. There are things that the union can do to tighten up
Oh,
defensively
100%.
heading into the playoffs, and they need to.
Yeah.
There's 100%, but things keep scoring goals, they're at least going to give themselves a puncher's chance.
Yes.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Is this a huge concern? I mean,
Hmm.
last year we talked about the 27th drop points.
Yeah.
Todd kind of picked it up a little bit too. But I want to talk about VAR, but before we do, let's go to your giveaway.
Yeah, so they actually had a really good giveaway, I thought,
I thought
for
they did
that
too.
match too. Like, so they had a garden flag and it has the
That's a big
snake.
garden
It's
flag.
actually pretty big. Like I
I
would say
thought it was
it's
like
like
one of
three
those little
feet.
tiny ones.
I thought it was gonna be small, actually. Yeah. I would say it's like what, maybe 2 by 3. I would
Yeah.
say it's about 2 feet by 3 feet.
It's
And
got the little snake.
yeah, so yeah, I think it's got yeah, you can hang it in the I don't in the yard or whatever to I don't know if we're gonna put it up at our house because
I think we just put it up at the
I
top.
think it's going in my classroom, to be
Yeah.
honest, because I put all the paraphernalia there.
Yeah,
In this
that's
basketball
actually probably
classroom.
this year probably the best giveaway I feel.
That is I think so.
At least one of the top three.
Yeah, so like the fanny packs were a nice one because it's like
The
useful. You can bring that
cooling, the
to
cooling necks
yeah.
guys were nice.
But like, hands down, I think the best giveaway last year was the clear bag.
Yeah.
That's like a little purse. Because I use it every game when I'm going in there as a fan anyway. So, yeah. But anyway, back to business
Back
here.
to business. No, I'm glad you brought that up. VAR call. Where you stand on it?
Mm. Okay, so I have video of the non-call for tie, and I don't know if I put it in the things there, but I think I did actually, maybe.
No, you have the scuffle.
Oh, well, we gotta talk about that too. No, that's it right
Okay,
there,
I'm gonna
Kyle.
share this
Yeah.
real quick here. Um,
Because like from my vantage point, now it's tough for me to tell if someone's offside from my angle, to be fair. But here's just a different angle that, you all probably didn't see. So I'm kind of behind the goal. But
so we'll watch that again.
yeah, so you get the header from Damiani, hits keeper, and then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if if it's
The thing is like
he's in an offsides position,
but he but it
he
wasn't
didn't,
like affecting the play or whatever. It
and you
was
can say all the motion and the ball was cleared out, was touched by a defender,
Mhm.
etc., etc.
I don't
So
profess to know like
exactly.
fully understand VAR, so I'm like not the best person
So
to
I talked to
ask about it.
Jonathan Tamwald about it last night
Okay.
in the him and I had a little discussion about it. And
Hmm.
his whole thing is he stuck that was an offsides position. We know Carnell during the post-match press conference was adamant that he didn't affect the play, so that should have been a allowed goal.
What does Skylar think?
Uh, he's kind of 50-50. So it's
Because if
kind
y'all
of,
don't know, Skylar's a great
yeah,
resource
friend of the
because
show who,
he refs.
yeah. Um, it was 50-50 call. I think you can see it both ways. All right. It's too close to call. You go to VAR, and the minute they go to VAR, I remember Skylar going, the minute they go to VAR, they're going to overturn
Hmm.
because they saw something, you know.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. Then you have that fight where,
Yes, I have great video that, by the way, if you haven't seen like my angle of it, I have it on um it's on my personal Instagram account. You can go see it there. The
yeah.
whole video, it's like 2 minutes long.
So
The
basically,
kerfuffle, as I like
yeah,
to
it
call it.
was a kerfuffle. I guess
Fun word. A kerfuffle.
it
It's a
was.
fun word. Kerfuffle.
So you had that fight. You know, Makhanya kind of makes a bonehead
Like
decision.
he
He
kicks the
kicked good.
ball and it hits the goalkeeper's nuts.
Yeah, right in the
Like
groin, and he needs to do better there.
he does, but then he gets shoved down to the ground, and
Yeah,
then
and
just the
it's
whole
just
thing. And the one guy like kind of threw a punch at Quinn. Um,
maybe possibly you don't know. There's just a lot of back and forth
mhm.
and dancing, as Jim Curtin used to say, a lot of nothing for, you know,
Yeah. When
it's,
it
it's
comes
a
down to
soccer
it,
fight.
Makhanya gets a yellow, and
Kerr gets a yellow.
yeah, Kerr gets a yellow.
But I think to my point, that kind of then gets the emotion involved, and Carnell talked about that too, and then it leads to that goal, and it's like, well, you
Mm,
kind of got them fired up. They go on the cack and they score, and that's it. So,
yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a break that the Union does not get.
yeah.
So,
You said the
anything
thing.
else?
You said the thing.
I know I said thing, but
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I think that's like, yeah, it's a draw that felt like a loss, but at least they did get the 1 point, but and they really lucked out that points were dropped by other top teams. So,
Right. But at the same
but at the
time,
same time, you can look back. This is when you hope that you don't look back at the end of the season and be like, "Oh, that would have made the difference."
right. And that's where now they have to go pick up something and pick up points
Hmm.
somewhere else,
Yep.
which is going to be tough. But
But there's the rest of their schedule is definitely easier than some of the other teams. So,
I I'm going to have something coming out on our next episode about that because I've been looking at that. There are some really good teams that when you look at their records might not, but how they play road versus
yeah.
home, it's kind of interesting. So anyway, let's go now Monday.
Yes.
Talk about a little MLS Next Pro.
Yeah.
We went up to see a really good matchup. Top two teams in the Eastern Conference vying for first place.
Yeah.
Union 2 versus Red Bull 2 in Harrison, New Jersey.
No, in Montclair, New Jersey.
Montclair, New Jersey.
Harrison will be the Saturday
Yes.
for the first team. But yeah, so we're up at Montclair State University. And so for us coming from Lancaster, it's like a 3 hour drive.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel that bad. But my first time being there in a long time, when I was in college, my swim team, we'd swim against them. As I recall, I had probably my best 100 back in college at that meet at that time. So there's that. That's all I remember from that. But yeah, so they have a soccer stadium, and that's where it was. And Bridge Brigade had a nice crew there, which was
They
good to see.
did, so shout out to them.
Yeah,
They really brought the energy on the night.
yeah.
Saw a couple other people we knew, so we were chatting. A little different setup than what we're used to at Subaru Park. I know eventually they're going to go over to Sports Complex, but yeah, Montclair State, formerly was built to host USL Championship
Hmm.
and also their soccer team. There is really no press box.
Like think of it like a high school football
It
stadium, had a
is.
press box.
Yeah, it's pretty
And
much for technical staff.
so like we didn't get to be in the press box. We were sitting on the bleachers in front of the press box.
Right. And so there was that.
On the plus side, it's close, pretty close to the field for
Oh,
what it's worth.
absolutely.
And I was able to get some pictures and different things, which came
You
in
put it in
handy
your
because I put them in the article. Um, and so yeah, so it was just weird because like we're seated like amongst all like the Red Bull fans there too.
right.
Cheering on it.
It,
But
it was a different view and it
it's
was nice.
once the
And
sun went down because the sun was directly at us.
that was the only
It
thing.
was brutal like during the first half a bit. So yeah.
But overall, it was nice for like a college like I think they're Division three still. Like that's a really nice field.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a nice field. Um, and
A match not so nice at Freak
yeah.
Union 2. They got really just basically humbled.
Yeah, so I was surprised first of all for that Andrew Rick was in goal. They just want to get him work, I guess, but I
Yeah,
thought maybe we'd see him be with the first team in the Open Cup match possibly because
right.
with playing Red Bull twice, in the week, I thought maybe that might be the case, but because and Pierce has had a bunch of clean sheets in a row. I do think, and we'll talk about Unity, but I do think we see Pierce probably tomorrow night with
Oh, I think so
um
too.
them. But anyway, so you think, okay, you look at this lineup, it's like, okay, this is a good lineup. You got
Yeah,
Rick, you got, I mean, really probably the strongest lineup you can do at this point. And I had thought that Rafael Uzcategui was going to be out on yellow card suspension, but I guess he must have maybe because I'd asked Ryan if he had if that was 4 or 5 yellow cards, he said five, but maybe I don't know if one had been like reduced for like the, good behavior, whatever,
yeah,
So anyway, so Raphael was there. You have Neil. You have like the whole kind of usual lineup, to be honest. You had Sal and Eddie up top, and really hoping Eddie would score. His parents were there, and
yeah.
um, you know,
Against his former academy.
yeah, because Eddie had some time in the Red Bull Academy. So it was. It's like, oh man, you see these guys come out, and I know they were pumped and everything, but it's going to be a physical match, and it started out very physical, of course. Isaiah LaFleur picks up a yellow in the first minute, which was
Yeah,
little
and, and and to be
frustrating.
fair, Union early on they had those corners to
Yeah,
our left where we were sitting,
yeah,
and Uzcategui had like two headers in a row that just went wide of the post, and you're
yeah,
thinking past Aiden Stokes, and you're thinking, okay, the one got deflected. You're thinking, okay, this is a good start, but then it just kind of never materialized.
very
Like,
back and forth.
and just the whole time you could just see like Red Bull was just out physicaling them,
Yes,
and you just never were able to get anything truly started.
yeah, and I feel like at times they're missing that creativity of CJ Only, of David Vasquez,
Sure.
of those guys in there, but and or having Cavan, so
Right. But even to that point, the thing that really stood out to me was having been down as low as we were,
yeah,
we've seen nights where they're moving and they're like, hey guys, move here, move here. The communication was
yeah,
not there. There was a lot of guys just, as Ryan said in the post match, being passengers,
yeah, yeah.
because there was
I
a
thought
couple
Ryan put
times.
it really well when he said that.
Because there
Yeah,
was a couple times Nick Perriano was like, "Guys, come on, move, move!" Like,
yeah,
and you're hearing Perriano, you heard Kellen say that,
yeah. Just it was
and
so
then
disconnected.
when like Eddie or Sal didn't get the ball, they throw their hands up, and it's like, well, guys, you didn't do anything to open yourself up. So that was really frustrating first half, and I guess we can talk about it. The blunder from Andrew Rick.
Yeah, uncharacteristic of him because he's so good with his feet usually,
Right.
and it's like the 12th minute, and he gets dispossessed of the ball when he has it
Yeah.
there, like in front of his goal, basically, and just easy goal for Red Bulls. So,
And you're just saying to yourself, what was this? And this is
like, what?
after the last two games, Rick Gibbs has given up three goals after pretty much not conceding much at all pre in
Like
his
with the
pre.
first team, I feel like he's been better with the first team.
And this goes back to the point, and I'm not going to cut you off there.
Yeah,
We've talked about with Sal. We've talked about with some of these other guys that have graduated from the second team that then go back, and it's kind of like, well, okay, I'm back here, and they don't look at it as the opportunity. It's like, oh, I'm playing second team tonight.
yeah.
And they don't have that fire, maybe, or I shouldn't
It
say that.
just maybe
It's
it's just like I think maybe it's not that they don't,
they're
but
not trying. It's
it's
just
just I don't know. It's just not feeling the same
energy.
energy that they do. Yeah, because I don't know, maybe it's just it's like you're up in the first team, you feel like, okay, this is like big time
Yeah,
pressure here, and so maybe it's more complacency.
I think that's a great word in certain degrees because Ryan talked about that. But
Yeah,
also, Ryan talked about like, hey, this is your development. You
yeah,
have to, kind
yeah.
of get that. And I
Yeah.
get it. Like for some of these guys, they need first team minutes. They don't need to be with the second team for
No.
development. But when you have that opportunity, you should go down there and make the very most of it at the very least.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So that was a little disappointing. And then, of course, they get beaten on a counter. Neil kind of gets a little bit outplayed there. And, Red Bull goes up 2-0. You kind of turn to me.
Yeah, right before the first half was
So
over.
that was kind of like, I remember tweeting out, like, Red Unions just need to get to half. And, like, they almost scored another one. And you're like, so they get to half. Uh,
Yeah.
and the second half, they played a little better.
Yeah, so second half you saw
Now, like you saw
yeah,
Williams.
so well Sal was subbed out first of
Yep.
all and then yeah, eventually yeah, Malik was brought in and
Das.
So Stas actually subbed in at the half
Stas
for him.
had for Sal, which we found out later it was something,
Yeah, he had something, it was more of like he was having you know,
some,
an issue.
yeah, some issue.
Yeah.
But anyway, Stas had recorded the only shot on target.
Well, and it was really late in the game, by the way, when he got
He had
because
a
there was
great opportunity,
yeah.
but he just shot right at the keeper.
So Eddie Eddie was actually like he'd been credited with like a shot on target, but then they like took it away or something when I was looking at the
Yeah,
stats. I was like, okay. But yeah, so Stas comes in eventually, Malik, will come in and Jordan Griffin comes in later.
yeah.
So Isaiah LaFleur um is writing like the entire game with on a yellow card pretty much, but to his credit
He's hung in
he
there.
hung in there. But I found out from Ryan Richter today when I talked to him
Yeah,
actually that Oscar Benitez actually dislocated his shoulder. He said in about like the 25th minute or so, and
right.
then he played like another 40 minutes before he was subbed out like with a dislocated shoulder.
Which you
And
gotta credit his heart to, for the
yeah.
team.
Yeah, and Ryan said like just that's incredible. His words were he's a warrior.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, that, when you think about that, yeah, because he was playing really, really physical.
He was, and it was a really, like I said, physical match.
Yeah.
Thought the bright spots, Malik has that shot
Yeah.
on the corner there that kind of gets ahead, just goes over the crossbar.
Yeah. Willie had a really well hit shot that just like it hit the crossbar,
Right.
just missed, but I mean, it was a laser. I thought he had a very solid game.
I
He's
thought,
one that I'm excited to see more from him if he gets a start at some point or what, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, at the post match,
Mhm.
it
Oh,
was,
and before we get to that,
yeah.
Noah Probst.
Oh, yeah, Noah came in.
He got subbed on in the second half for his Union 2 debut, and he did it. He
He
did a
did
good job.
okay.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
Ryan said, he did okay. He did what he needed to do, and he's still getting up to speed on everything. But yeah, he it was solid.
right. Yeah, I mean, they get humbled. Now they go against another high-powered team in Chicago
Yeah.
on Friday, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I think it goes back to the point, and one thing I'm going to start looking at is the chance creations with,
Hmm.
how can guys step up, create better
Hmm.
opportunities throughout the game, and they're starting because some of these guys are getting promoted and moving out. So
Hmm.
you have a lot of these young guys.
I think that, and I was at training today. I was watching them, and I thought that from what I was seeing, yeah, Willie, Kellen, Jordan, like they're good at
Well, yeah,
they're doing a good job of that. I think, if they can really step up in there with that.
but when you put them against 23-year-old guys,
Yeah, yeah.
but they're gonna
And
have to learn.
yeah, and
Right.
also it's a shame that well, of course, um Jameer Johnson, he's out with PSV.
Right. So
With
you're gonna miss that creativity because there's another guy create.
yeah, so hey, the guys will have to
We'll
step
see
it up.
what Noah Probst can do. But
Mm-hmm.
so I am very curious. Look, these are talented young academy, soon to be. Some of these guys are second team contracts now
Mm-hmm.
that are gonna have opportunities to step up. So I'm very excited to see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna watch that. But again, I think if the a result, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, result against Chicago kind of raises the bad taste. But
Hmm.
speaking of kind of bouncing back, hey, we got a rematch.
So three matches this week total with Red Bulls. You had Red Bulls
Well, not
two.
rematch, a
I s-
reschedule.
yeah, I'm saying two matches with Red Bulls. You have Union 2 with Red Bulls 2, and then
Yeah.
you've got the two matches with Red Bulls with the first team. So it's a lot of Red Bulls this week.
So yeah, U.S. Open Cup quarterfinals. Union do advance. For their fifth now semifinal appearance in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, and they have an opportunity. They'll play Nashville here in a couple weeks on September 16th.
Hmm.
For the opportunity to go to their fourth U.S. Open Cup final. But overall, goals from Milan Olaski,
Yeah, you're jumping ahead here.
goals from Ty Baribo and Oluwethu Makhanya. But
Yeah.
I want to start out by playing Carnell's clip.
Okay.
Clip that up. It's kind of just his thoughts on the match.
And yeah, and as you're doing that, yeah, so we had yet another rain delay. This time we actually got the game in though. But
Yes.
yeah, it was about the game started like 2 hours late.
So yeah, here's Bradley. All right, gotta get the thing here.
Uh, like I said, tight game. I thought we were a little sloppy in certain moments, and especially at the end of the game. And now it's two games in two where we get beat on a cross and sort of a play down the sides of the field. So things to tighten up, and we learn from these lessons. But yeah, we brought Milan and in for a reason, and you can see the quality he possesses, whether he plays in the 10 or whether he shifts up a slot into the 9. So yeah, the energy in this team's awesome. The togetherness is great. I think you can just see exactly the way the team digs deep and rallies through tough moments after a 2-hour delay. So we're ecstatic to be in the next round and another trip to Nashville.
So a couple things to digest there. First, 2 hour weather delay. All right.
Yeah.
They managed that.
Shout
And
out to my friend Erica, by the way, because
yes.
I brought her to the first try of this match, and of course that got postponed. So I was like, all right, you want to try it again? We'll go. And so she came, she got to see soccer this time. Yay. And it's funny because they actually got through the national anthem and kicked off, and she's like, yay, we finally got farther, you know? So, but no, yeah, so there's the 2 hours there. And of course, that's tough because they actually had it warmed up yet. And I know, I'm sure actually that was probably better because they hadn't gotten all warmed up and then had to sit around. So they were just, doing whatever. And I listened to Bradley talking on the Soccer Wise podcast. And he was saying how, yeah, there's like playing different games and whatever. And Frankie and Kevin were playing some game of whatever, and they had all these different, they're just keeping busy. But then they were able to get their warm up in and
Right.
everything.
And we asked Milan about that too post match, and he basically credited the train staff, making sure they were hydrated, stretched out,
Hmm.
nutrition. He's like, there's really not much you can do. You just got to make sure mentally you're ready so when you get the call.
Yeah.
And I found that very interesting because he kept crediting like the train staff, like, hey,
Yeah.
they were making sure we were hydrated and all that. So
And it's definitely, I think, preferable having to wait that out at your home
he
stadium
did
than,
say that. He
yeah.
did say that it was preferable at your home stadium. He also said the fact that we didn't warm up yet,
Yeah.
kind of helped too because we hadn't gone through a routine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for the first half, it was again very physical, very sloppy game.
Kind of what you expect with these two teams a little
Yeah,
bit, but
basically just grind it out. Who can grind out the other?
and then Red Bulls strike first.
Yeah, I mean,
Was it like the 10th inning or 10th minute or
Ricky
so?
Carmona kind of gets a ball in space on the break on like a
Yeah.
counter. It was a turnover. And like Skylar and I, like I kind of looked down. I'm like, oh, here we go. And I'm like watching Blake back. Like I watched a shot and Blake gets beat. I'm like, that was really bad.
Yeah, we're like, ooh,
So they have the monitors up top, and so I'm watching that, and Blake's kind of backpedaling to the far post.
yeah.
I think he thinks they're going to go across, and credit to Carmoni, he sees the opening. Blake kind of doesn't get set, and it's 1-0. You're just kind of like, huh,
Yeah, and at that point, of course, the Red Bull supporters, they were being real, real loud,
Yeah.
and I have to say, I'm sorry, but River End's got to do better. River End's got to do better when you're getting when like the supporters from Red Bulls are being louder than you. No,
We were,
and I'm looking around and I'm seeing people just kind of standing there, and this was even before Red Bulls had scored. But it's like, come on. Um, and 100%, like someone in our section made a comment that, yeah, and on Saturday, Union supporters that are there are probably gonna be louder than the River End was that night.
and that's a problem.
Yeah.
But again, uh, like I told you earlier, and we commented, a couple of us commented up on the press back here. It's like, yeah, we were hearing more, even when the game was tied and it was close, and they really weren't doing anything. We still were hearing more from the Red Bull supporters than we
Yeah.
were. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Now
But to the Union's credit, they bounced back.
they do, and this is a great ball in from Kai, gets
Yeah.
on Vasilev, Vasilev flicks it on
Yeah.
into Bariba. Bariba's one-on-one with AJ Marcucci and just taps it right in. And you're like,
Yeah.
hey, it's 1-1.
Kai to tie goal. You gotta love it.
Yeah. And credit Vasilev for kind of just knowing that. Like they give everybody said it was Kai tie, but there's kind of like a little direction from
Yeah.
Indy. And the other thing I noticed in the first half was, and Skylar and I talked about this, and Bradley kind of talks about from the midfield circle to midfield circle.
Hmm.
You were trying to go up the middle with Danley and Lukic a lot,
Hmm.
and they weren't getting anything up the middle. And credit to Red Bull, they were shutting them down.
Hmm.
And for the rest of the half, it just seemed like you just couldn't get anything through them. And you go to half, and both teams are one shot on target.
Also, Kyle Duncan probably should have had a second yellow.
Yeah, but both,
They subbed him off, by the way,
and
in like
that's the thing. I mean,
35th minute or so, I think, because yeah, they
well,
knew he.
you had to bring Nielsen because like after that second foul, like we're both.
And
It's
he's
got
gonna be out on Saturday, by the way. He had a red card in the game
and
against our.
Skylar even said this. This is probably going to be a talking to where they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Um, if he wasn't already on yellow, that would have been a yellow.
Hmm.
But I mean, Sandra Source did the right thing, get him right out.
Hmm.
But you had Raheem Edwards and him on a yellow,
Hmm.
and they kept playing it up the middle. I felt at times, and they couldn't get it out to the flanks and attack the flanks.
Yeah.
So that was frustrating. But Union changed in the second half. They start to create
Hmm.
chances. Lasky comes in,
Yeah.
Luna
So
comes in.
yeah, Olaski comes in actually at the half.
Yeah,
We found out later he was actually a concussion substitute for Indy, which is why Union got a sixth sub.
you're right. Um, and yeah, I mean, look good again.
Hmm.
You can see the quality there. I thought personally the Union were going to get a goal there early on in the second half. And
Yeah.
again, they kind of get beat down that right side. And I mean, true promoting, like, I mean, the guy played, in top five leagues, beats Jacob and just one times that ball. And I mean, you just got to tip your cap on that. That's a good play. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, Jacob
That goal
made.
happens. We're just like, mm.
Actually, I didn't even see the actual goal. I saw
I
the
did.
replay because I was coming back from the bathroom when it happened. Because it was 71st minute, I was going to go to the bathroom for the presser, and then it was like, oh, they scored, and then watched it again. I was like, oh, great. But again, credit to the Union.
Yeah.
They bounced back again,
Yeah.
and Ty again with a nice assist, finds a wide open
Wide open.
Lasky and just buries it. And
This first Union goal, and it was right in front of me. Like I had a great view of that.
yeah.
And oh, it was just beautiful watching that.
And this goes right after halftime. I was talking to somebody in the press box, and I said, they asked me, they said, they saw the UA loose rumors, I guess, is what
Hmm.
how they phrased it. What do you think? I said, well, if the Union really want to make a run, you got four strikers right now
Yeah.
and Olaski does that. And after the match, he goes, would Donovan have done that? Would this person? I said, we don't know that, but you now have a little flexibility
Yeah.
I know we probably all agree no, but I'm
No.
like, you don't know that.
No.
That's a hypothetical and
Yeah.
speculation.
But at halftime when you see Iloski come on and you still have um yeah, you still have Baribo and Damiani in there, it's like, ooh. We're like Eric and people around us were like, ooh, I like this.
And then
You
you
know?
can bring in Ua.
Yeah, and to the Union's credit, like, Iloski gets that goal just a few minutes after the go-ahead goal for Red Bulls. Like they again bounced back. So
Right.
that was huge.
And then really the Union kind of right the 80th minute, yeah, 89th minute, again on a set piece.
Hmm.
Here again, two or three goals. We're on set pieces. Ball gets bounced around. Now, this one you gotta feel bad for because Red Bull's backup keeper, AJ Mercucci,
Yeah.
gets
He
he
gets hurt. Like,
he goes up and he
yeah,
lands,
he
and you
lands
can
weird.
just
Yeah.
see like he just goes down.
Yeah, it was not a contact injury, but like
And
he landed weird, I think, and I heard like ACL or something.
yeah, I
And
mean, we were watching that. You
yeah,
kind of just like, yeah, Union are up, but it just stinks because luckily Macania's there,
yeah,
makes the right call, and
yeah,
we asked him about that. I'm gonna play the Cardinal clip, and he flicks it on, gets the goal, and you're like, okay, that's unfortunate that for Red Bull, if you're a
yeah,
Red Bull sport, your goalkeeper gets injured, you lose the game, and
yeah. They
it's
had
like
to bring on
you'd rather him still there and
Cornell.
he beat the goalkeeper. But
Yeah.
again, I mean, things happen. Credit
But
Makhanya for not overthinking and just
yeah, just
blasting it.
shoot it. Yeah, and good for Makhanya. I mean, honestly, that's two game winners he's had now, like
Yeah,
late in the game. So, and this
and
was like the 89th minute. So you knew there was going to be some stoppage time because the whole situation there, and they subbed Coronel on.
yeah, so I want to play the clip here from Bradley about Makhanya here. So here we go.
He's a technical center back, and yeah, sometimes we sit on the edge of our seats because he's brave, and we love that about Oluwetu. So, and even in that moment, he sees exactly that corner, and Stroud tries to recover on the goal line, and Nate does a good job of coming back in play because he could have been offside, so he comes back in the game. So, yeah, we've learned a lot over the last week with set pieces and VAR and stuff like that. So we've spoken a little bit about it, and hopefully those little lessons are bearing fruit now. Cool. He's a
Yeah, so I think first thing is yes, he's right because we were both kind of after that goal. We're like, was Nate off? But Nate comes back into the play.
Hmm.
We asked Makhanya about the goal, what he was seeing, could you just blast it? And he's like, yes, at first I thought about like just taking that one touch, but then I saw there was some space in the
Yeah,
far point, so I just thought about settling it and flicking it
he
on.
did a great job of that.
And that's again
Yeah.
the improvement. Makanya's going to
Hmm.
make silly mistakes like we talked about earlier this episode about just shooting the ball in the goalkeeper's crotch when you don't need to. But he learns. And Carnell talked about that today, even about how he continues to develop.
Hmm.
Andre Blake spoke to us afterwards, said, look, he's still got a long way to go in his development, but the growth he's done, the growth you're seeing from him is incredible.
Yeah,
So, I mean, you're happy for him.
yeah, and so you love to see that, and what a season he's had. And yeah, I mean, like you said, he'll make mistakes, but it's part of it, and he makes far fewer mistakes at this point. But
But yeah,
yeah, and Union get the win, and
they really just shut it down
yeah,
those last couple minutes.
they did a good job of that, and even they were getting some chances. Even like, man, it was funny because Kevin came on. It was funny you had Ale and you had Kevin come on together, the oldest and the youngest, of
Mhm.
course, and right before this happened, I said to our friends, I was like, man, today would be a great day for Cavan to get his first,
He almost did.
first team goal. And right after, like right as I said, then he gets, he like, oh, he gets a chance, like he almost had, and it was like,
And
oh,
he could have had another one there
yeah.
later,
Mhm.
but they did the right play.
It went to the corner.
They went right to the corner, and
Yeah.
that's what you really need to
Yeah.
do. Like
Not get
because
so, because if you go and
if
like
you
they go on a
shoot
counter
it
or something on
and
you,
you
yeah.
like you shoot it, he makes a save. Cornell's got to go
Yeah.
counter. You get some weird flick on in the kick.
Yeah.
There you got now you got a guy in on Blake, and boom. No, they made some smart decisions there, and
Mhm.
they kind of rode out the match.
Yeah. So credit to them for this time finishing it out. And so that's what, 16 games against Red Bulls.
Yes.
So I mean,
Hey, it is. It's 16 all competitions.
so hey, I
I
mean,
mean, this was a really good physical grinding match. And as Bradley said, this team, I know Todd had spoken on, I think it was a podcast, two podcasts ago about the 2022 vibes.
mhm,
Um, there's certainly those 2022 vibes with this team.
mhm.
I think it's different. I mean, those teams are blowing out teams or finding ways
Yeah,
to
I mean,
win one
like
nothing,
five, six, 7 goals
or
against.
finding like ways to win like one nothing in dominant fashion, you
Yeah,
know. This team finds ways to win in surprising fashion, and they for the most part play very good. So I see the comparison. I think what really is interesting about this team, and the other team had that grit too, was just the grit of this team. They don't
yeah,
give up.
and they really, really
I mean,
have a
namely,
good team chemistry.
they do.
I think they really um just focused on having a great team chemistry from the beginning of the season on, and it's wonderful.
I
I
mean,
think.
I'm trying to think of one match that they this year have been out of completely, and they're really outside of maybe that Nashville game, but even there,
Mhm.
VAR turns, calls go a different way. You're having different. I mean, they've been competitive in every match this
Yeah.
year. So it's great to see. So now we turn the page. The time you're listening, this will be Friday morning. We got some Union 2. They are
Yeah.
heading to Chicago.
Yeah, so Chicago Fire 2 at 8 p.m.
They have not lost since they only have one loss since April,
Yeah.
and currently the highest goal scoring team in MLS Next Pro.
They were team of the month for July. They have all these
You
accolades.
can
Like they're extremely hot. The Fire is very hot right now to dumb
but
play on words.
you know what you say, you can't touch a flame when it's red hot.
No one will understand that reference because nobody likes the Calgary Flames, Kyle.
If you are wondering that reference, go type in Calgary Flames Stanley Cup video. It's the worst music video. It was actually rated. Well, I think it was like Bleacher Report, ESPN, like you know how they had the Super Bowl shuffle from the Bears?
Yeah.
Like this one's worse.
It is. I've seen
This is
people,
like
it's
Wish
bad.
version like
It's like the
Stanley
emu
Cup.
version.
And
Yeah.
it really is. So go ahead
Yeah.
and watch that if you want a good
Um,
chuckle. But
yeah, so they're playing Chicago Fire 2. It should be very good matchup. Some notes about Union 2. I'm gonna have a preview article out,
mhm,
but I was down at training today, like I said, talked to Ryan Richter, and just like they went over things obviously from Monday. The team seems like really, they seemed like in really good spirits, and they seemed like they're really ready. From what I saw from training, things looked like they were connecting really well, and I don't know, I just felt like a good vibe. So hopefully,
they
fingers
got
crossed,
humbled. So we'll see
they
how they
did. But sometimes, hey, sometimes you need that, and we'll see if they learn and bounce back. Because that's one thing I've seen. Like when they've had some setbacks, they bounced back.
for sure.
So I saw like big change after some of those. So but a couple notes about that. I I'd be surprised if Neil Pierre would play. I feel like he's going to go with the first team because of not having Glessness, and they're going to need a backup center back. I don't. I feel like Bradley probably would go Nate Harriel at center back again
For sure.
in the situation, but having Neil on the bench, who knows that maybe Neil gets a chance. You never know. You could see some rotation with lineup for all we know on Saturday. So, but we well, okay, so Union 2 won't have Oscar Benitez, sounds like because of his shoulder, his dislocated
Mhm.
shoulder. So the rest of the team, because I asked Ryan, the rest of the team should be good, of course. They are, like I said, missing Jameer Johnson, and um, so so the center back situation, there's some options. Isaiah LaFleur could slot over in center back, then you put Jordan Griffin in, or I know Nick Pariano, he's played center back before, but not the best solution. But
Now,
Oscar's been playing midfield and he can play center back, so that's like So you could see someone like Noah Probst or William Ferreira or somebody, getting in there.
there's
So we'll
options.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll see what happens there, but again, 8 p.m. It should be on Apple TV. So definitely encourage people to tune in. And one thing I want to add, this is interesting. The Chicago Fire are two games are free to like people to attend this
Yeah,
season. I saw on their website because, yeah, I saw that today. So it's like, oh, that's cool. So anyway, yeah, so we'll see what happens there and
we'll
see if
see.
they bounce back.
And Carnell said today that he expects some rotation. How much rotation? Who knows? Obviously,
Maybe
probably,
see different starting strikers. Like maybe
uh,
see,
what are
you know,
you gonna do in the midfield
yeah,
with Indy probably out with concussion still? And
maybe Milan gets a start or maybe Cavan gets a start in there.
who knows?
Maybe you see Rafa. Rafa wasn't
But
even
he
in the
did
game.
bring up
Yeah.
something to keep an eye on, like the
Hmm.
field conditions up there, Sporting Illustrated Stadium.
Are not good.
Not good right now. So
Hmm.
that's going to play a factor in how their tactics are. And he
Hmm.
talked about that. Just a lot of things.
And by the way, if you're going to the Red Bull match, we're going. We'll be there. But if you're going to the Red Bull match, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. We'll be up there, um, hanging out. So,
Usually, we will have a bunch of press from the union because it's proximity, but also there's always really good traveling support from the
yeah,
fans. So
let us know if you're heading
yeah,
up there. We'll be up there. Hopefully, see if the Union keep the streak going. I'll take a point to be quite honest with you, especially if they're rotating.
yeah.
Um,
Point
eh,
on the road
fine for this.
is fine. Yeah,
Yeah, 3 points would be phenomenal.
3 points would be fantastic.
All right. So, anything else?
That's all I got.
Well, that's all I got for this episode of the One Team We Agree On.
Yeah, so make sure to like and subscribe and spread the word too because the more that this gets out there, the better. And leave us comments. We love hearing from you.
Yeah.
Engage with us on our socials. We again, if you see us in person, come say hi. We have stickers too. If you want a sticker, we can give you a sticker. So, yeah, so thanks to everyone who has been tuning in and who's been leaving us comments and subscribing and everything. You can subscribe to our website. Don't forget the one team we agree on.com. You can get when we publish articles, it can go straight to your email. So you can sign up for that on our website. Again, find us wherever you get your podcasts, of course. We are literally like everywhere with that. And yeah, that's all we got for today.
All right. Well, until next time, I'm Kyle.
I'm Jillian.
We'll see you at the game.